Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today, and if you want to call in, 570-530-8316. Let's get it started. Beeb, I want to start with where we left off Sunday night, because last week was a complete train wreck. Every fight, every one of them were train wrecks. Each one of those cards. You had that Friday card, train wreck city. Saturday, train wreck. One guy, could save the weekend. Naoya Inoue on ESPN versus Ramon Cardenas. Inoue wins with an 8th round TKO, was put on the deck in that second round, Beeb. He got clipped. That was a hard shot. I'm surprised he recovered. I'll be honest, man. That was a hard shot. He recovered, got up, and I'll tell you what, and you know what gets me is when he gets hurt and he comes back, right? He comes right back. He doesn't miss a beat.
He's sharper.
It's like you know what he's like? He's like Trinidad. Remember how Trinidad used to get knocked down early in fights and came back, and he was
Marquez too.
Yep.
Noel Marquez, same thing. Yeah.
Well, Marquez, you know, we all remember that fight with the 3 knockdowns in the first round with Pacquiao.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think he was knocked down again in that fight later on and still got a draw. Like, that's almost impossible.
Yeah, I thought he lost that fight.
I thought he won. I thought it was close.
Yeah, some people do think he won the fight,
close,
even despite the knockdowns. But I'm not one of them.
Tough to come back from, right?
Sure,
that's a tough one to come back from.
He's in a big deficit with the 3 knockdowns.
Yeah, that's already your 3 rounds down, and it's only the first round. So yeah, right. I mean, you gotta
come back strong.
You got to come back now. But that's what impresses me about that guy, man. I mean, when he gets knocked down, he pops right back up, and the next round comes out sharper. And he's not afraid to mix it up. He knows he's going to get hit. He may get hit. He's going to try his best not to get hit. Best to be defensively responsible. But it's like
he pours on the gas even more.
Yes.
Once he knows that he got hurt, it's almost like there's more of a sense of urgency for him. But again, he doesn't get reckless while doing it either.
That's the thing. I think you see a lot of guys, like Arturo Gatti. I think when he got hurt, he got reckless and landed. He landed a lot of the times. Yeah. But I don't notice that with Inoue. He
tightens up a little bit. Yeah, he tightens up a little bit, but he becomes a little bit more precise with his punches, and he tries to set them up a little bit better, and actually throws more after getting up from being hurt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely.
Omar Rodriguez says Inoue is like a clean version of the on drugs Ryan Garcia.
And just for the record, right? Full disclosure, I had nothing to do with that title. I just want people in Japan to know, because Beeb Industries does a lot in Japan.
Let me tell you this. I talked to Beeb.
I have no creative control here.
First thing he said
Everybody
to me
knows
was Inoue was exposed.
No.
He said Inoue was exposed, and I'm here to tell you.
Don't believe that for a second.
No way.
All the public out there, don't believe that for a second. I have no creative control here. When I signed the contract, I am purely an analyst on this show. I have no authority in doing titles, doing the show topics. I just show up every day like I'm punching a clock. That's all I do.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm punching a clock.
So needless to say, he was not exposed. No, I don't think he was exposed.
Absolutely. Bro, you got to go on Twitter.
What?
Oh my God, you got to go on Twitter and listen.
Are they killing him on Twitter? See, I try to stay off of X. I try to stay off of X, man, because
you're a better man than me then.
It's just toxic on there. Every now and then I'll go on.
Oh, it's horrible.
Or like maybe I'll go on there to verify something or something like that. But
that's right.
Yeah, man, my God, that place is completely toxic.
And it's my own fault. I complain all the time, but guess what? Just when I try to get out, they pull me back in, right? I can't get away from it. Whether it's on the phone, I'll be lying in bed, I'll just be on Twitter, and I go and I say to myself, what the fuck? Why did I even come on here today?
It's crazy, right?
It's nuts. It's my own fault. I blame no one but myself. Take full accountability.
I blame you too.
Yeah.
I blame you too. I tell you that. But Inoue saved the weekend last week. That was the best fight, and it was a back and forth fight, man. Inoue was the aggressor in that fight, but it was. I mean, Cardenas was getting his. That's for sure. I mean, he was definitely getting hits in. Definitely looked good. He wasn't winning those rounds, but he was doing pretty well. He was very competitive. I want to see him again.
Yeah, he was fighting very hard, and it wasn't like he was being walked over totally. He offered up resistance. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, oh yeah. He wasn't there for a paycheck. He was trying to win that fight.
Not at all. Not at all.
I can't imagine what went through his mind when he knocked him down, and then coming out in that third round and just, I mean, they went at it, man. JC said, is this channel televised in Wakanda?
That's the thing. All the people who are all of a sudden become Canelo fans now that he's fighting. Excuse me. Now, like all the people that are criticizing Canelo, they're being called like Wakanda fans.
Why? Oh, because it's Canelo. Yeah.
Yeah. So because it's like
a lot of people ride with that dude, man. A lot of people ride with that dude.
There's a lot of man fans on there right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna be honest. If you're trying to blame Skull 100% for what happened in that fight, no. I'm sorry. Canelo's feet looked like they were in quicksand.
He was not Devin Haney in that fight, but he was, he was close, but he was not Haney in that fight. I mean, he tried to mix it up. And some people, I mean, I've seen a few people out there that thought Skull won the fight.
Yeah.
I
only gave Skull like 2 rounds.
I only gave him like 2 rounds too. But, as we're watching that fight unfold, I could see what you're talking about with the exchanges and stuff, and it's hard. But you got one guy coming forward to force the fight. I can't take the round away from him because the other guy's not throwing.
No, you can't.
No,
you can't.
So yeah, I don't know, man.
I always say this, Eric. The guy who's thought to be the better fighter, the guy who's a pound for pound guy, the highly skilled guy, supposedly one of the all-time greats. I put more of a responsibility on that fighter because I expect more from that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I saw Skull versus Shishkin, and once again, he didn't do that much more in that fight either. He's not a guy who's very engaging. He only threw like 359 punches against Shishkin. I actually thought Shishkin beat him, and Shishkin's team protested the decision. So I never was high on Skull. So it's almost like what you're getting with this guy when you watch a Skull fight. You're not going to get an action-packed fight. You're not going to get a guy who's willing to engage. You're going to get a guy who's just going to play tag with you all night. That's how he fights. You got to know that when you're going in.
Yeah, and he looked fresh in the 12th round because that was what he was doing. He was just moving,
Yeah.
It was like a track star,
So,
it was bad though.
I'm officially changing my pick. I'm picking Crawford by decision now.
I tell you what, I that's what I think too. And I've always thought that.
You always said it, but I'm jumping on the bandwagon with you now.
I tell you, the only way is if Crawford steps through those ropes, because he's 36, 37,
no, 38. He'll be 38. He'll be like
38.
He turns 38 in September. So like I think the week after the fight, he'll be actually
so 37, 38, closer to 38,
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, I don't know. I mean, sometimes you step through that ring and sometimes it ain't there.
I did go back and watch the Madrimov fight. Actually did it this morning. And then I went back and watched the Canelo fight because I couldn't sleep. So I got up early and I was watching fights. And I started thinking about this fight in my head. And I watched both fighters. And I still think Crawford looks sharp against Madrimov. I don't think anyone blows Madrimov out of there. I think even Virgil Ortiz. I had that fight with Madrimov a draw with Virgil Ortiz. Now, most people thought Ortiz won. I don't have a problem with that. But Madrimov, people forget, was actually fighting at 165 in the amateurs. Like, he's a big guy, but Madrimov's got very quick feet. He's fast, that guy. He's very cagey, crafty.
Very good fighter.
Yeah. The thing with Canelo is he never had fast feet. And I think his feet are slowing down even more now. And
I agree. I didn't see a lot of footwork last week. I got to be honest.
the jab. He doesn't throw the jab anymore. He doesn't use the feints to try to set things up. He's just loading up, and he just throws that lead left hook from left field over and over again. And if Crawford fights in that southpaw stance exclusively like he did against Madrimov, and you're just going to be throwing that lead left hook, you're going to have to get around that lead hand of Crawford, who's got that 74-inch reach. So I know we're going as the fight nears, we're going to talk about that. I don't want to get sidetracked here, but that's just been fresh in my mind.
It's a good fight. It's a good fight now. It's a good fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dangerous fight for both guys. Big Texan, thank you so much. He said, "Hey, Beeb, sending you hugs
Put it
and
down a
looks
little
like
bit.
a
Let's
kiss too. How about that?
Get it down. Let's get it down.
Oh, that's
take that right down. There you go.
All right. Let's talk about this weekend's action now. On ESPN Plus, Emmanuel Navarrete versus Charlie Suarez for Navarrete's WBO junior lightweight title. This was a doozy here. So Navarrete retains his title with a technical decision, 78-75 and 77-76 twice. Now, the fight was stopped due to a cut on Navarrete's eye that was ruled a headbutt, but instant replay clearly showed that was a punch.
It was a punch.
And now, B, have you heard anybody argue that point that was because I saw somebody, I guess, when we were doing, when I was looking at it and I was looking at the replay and everything on the channel, different channels and stuff like that. I want to see what people said about it.
Yeah.
There were some people that said, oh yeah, that was clearly a punch. Yeah. Was clearly a punch. Some people said it was a headbutt.
I couldn't see the heads clash. I couldn't see the heads clash.
But I saw as soon as he landed that shot, I saw him go to his eye.
It was a real chopping shot. Like at the end, you could just see how he just went boom and he just twisted it, and it was like a slicing type shot.
Perfect shot.
Yeah.
Perfect counter. I mean, it was a perfect counter, man.
It was a beautiful punch.
Absolutely, man. So they called this a technical decision for Emmanuel Navarrete. Now, some news has came out today that the California State Athletic Commission agrees and that it was a punch and may overturn this fight to a no contest. Yeah. Which I think that's the right call. The punch clearly did the damage.
Yeah, I heard they're going to change it to a no contest. It's a shame they just can't overturn the decision and give it to Suarez here. But
they can't. Well, yeah, because it should be a knockout, right?
Yeah, it should be a technical knockout for him. So again,
they had replay there, right? Why does boxing? Let me ask you a question. Why does boxing have instant replay? Because this has happened now twice.
Yeah,
when they looked at the replay, messed it up. They look at this replay, messed it up again. Like, where? If we're gonna have replay, what's the problem?
In the Tank fight, they said they didn't have access to the instant replay,
and it was still a bad call.
Yeah, but they admitted that Tank was knocked down. So again, just do the right thing. Now, in this case, for whatever reason, they couldn't seem to get the same camera replay that the ESPN people in the back had. The production team were the ones that actually came up with this version of this from this angle, right? They came up with this instant replay, but for whatever reason, Jack Reese conveniently all of a sudden didn't have this version of the replay during the fight. And I hate doing this. I hate being the conspiracy theorist, but why is it always the A side that seems to get the benefit of the doubt here? Why could they not have gotten? Why could they have not gotten that camera view, that same view,
the same view that's being broadcast?
Yeah,
the same view that's being broadcast.
It's so convenient now that they put that view out, but during the fight they would never show you that view, right? They weren't putting that view out. Jack Reese conveniently didn't have that view during the fight. I hate being that guy.
Get it. It's in the production. That's all they do is bring it up.
That's it. I hate being that guy, but this just happens too much, man. Boxing cannot be this incompetent, right? They can't be. Sorry. So that's just my opinion.
You really don't think boxing is that incompetent?
I think there's just as much corruption as incompetence, in my opinion.
All right, I'll take that.
That's what I'm trying. Right. That's the direction I'm going in.
Because clearly you're right, and we'll talk about some of that later. But I mean, with rankings manipulations and all that other stuff, it's completely, And again, like when you talk about corruption, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. I don't think it goes. I mean, if you're an undercard fighter, maybe the the guys that come out first or second or whatever. But when you're fighting on a main card, a champion, you're not getting paid to take a dive.
No.
Because it just doesn't make financial sense for you to
No.
get paid to take a dive.
Listen, we're not saying that envelopes have to get exchanged and things of that nature, but people go into fights with preconceived notions, whether it be judges, referees. They're influenced by who the A side is, by the media, by perception. Everyone goes in there, in my opinion, most people do, with a subconscious bias.
Absolutely.
And they believe something is going to happen. And when it doesn't happen, it's almost like incredulous to them that what they're seeing is not happening. So they try to find ways to create it and make it happen, right? And again, like I just see it often, time and time again, where just the A side just gets the overwhelming favoritism, right?
Yeah.
Things just, the clouds and the stars just seem to align up always in the A side's favor. Now, is that
how is it you don't have that view?
Yeah,
we got it the next day. It's not like we got it from a cell phone or something like that.
Yeah,
like that
was from the truck.
They got a billion cameras outside. They got a billion cameras around ringside. This is a production here, and you're telling me you couldn't get that view? Shut up! Just shut up. You don't think the production truck was on it? They weren't on that. They can show us a headbutt during the middle of the round at the end of the round. You know what I mean? Headbutt happens. They can slice that up right now and show it to you.
Yeah.
Professional crew right there. But you can't get stop.
I'm not buying it.
No. Nando says the commenters didn't sound biased. Kriegel was trying to sway the commission. There's more crookedness in the NBA. Don't be naive. I agree. Well, that's why Boston and Cleveland were down 2-0. Now we're getting ready to tie the series up, Beeb.
Listen, when anyone starts caping for boxing, I start to asking questions. Are they
questions, right?
Are they getting envelopes too?
We know.
Is Nando getting an envelope? Does someone pay him off? If he's gonna run interference for what happened last night, then
you remember the story, that first Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis fight in Madison Square. Clearly a 10-2 fight. Maybe an 11-1 fight because he won the third round. I gave Holyfield the third round. That was it, right? That was it. And the fight somehow is a draw.
Yeah.
Right? And then, what they did, though, was they were investigating the judges after that.
Sure.
And how much, they think some of the judges got paid for that fight, because again, they only make, what was it back then? It was like $1,200 a fight, which is still an amazing money to sit there and get paid to watch a fight.
Plus, you get a free ticket to the fight.
36 minutes ringside. Yeah, it's beautiful.
You get a free ticket to the fight as well, so you got a front row seat.
So yeah, man. Like so you're not going to pay Holyfield or Lewis to take a dive or whatever the case, but for the guy making $1,200 at ringside. Yeah, here's $5,000. Here's $10,000. Here's whatever to keep it fair.
Or do me a favor. Do me a favor tonight, and we'll continue to have you back for the next big fight. Right?
Yeah, and just keep it close, or just keep it
whatever.
Whatever. But this is the guy we want. It happens all the time. It has to. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
On that undercard, Raymond Muratalla versus Zaur Abdullayev. Muratalla wins a unanimous decision. Lopsided 119-109 twice and 118-110.
Pretty one-sided fight.
ESPN Solomon Sissoko versus, and I think this was on ESPN. It is either ESPN or DAZN. I'm not 100%.
I think it was on DAZN actually.
Was it on DAZN? Okay.
Yeah, you talking about the Kavaluskas fight?
Yeah, Kavaluskas versus Sissoko.
Yeah, it was on DAZN.
This was interesting, man. Sissoko wins a unanimous decision over Kavaluskas by the scores of 114-112, 115-111, and 116-110. Close fight.
Yeah.
Sissoko was knocked down twice in the fight and still got the decision. Beeb, do you agree with that?
Yeah. I think he got off to a fast start, and Kavaluskas is dangerous, and he has his moments. But it was just like in the Crawford fight, where he'll have his moments in a fight, but he's not able to sustain that pressure and success. He can be outboxed and outworked in fights. He's more of a swarmer pressure type guy. He's very talented in his own right, but he has a hard time with guys who outmaneuver him, guys who are a bit quicker than him. And this was the case, I believe, as well. I just think that he couldn't couldn't keep up with his opponent here, and I just think that he despite the knockdowns, I think he was too far behind on the cards to make a case for him winning the fight, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I agree. There you go. Now on that undercard, Beeb, Nico Walsh Ali versus Ebenezer Soa, and Nico Ali Walsh wins by unanimous decision. Fun fact, I always get like these fun facts when we talk about Nico Walsh Ali. Did you know that Nico Walsh Ali is the grandson of Muhammad Ali? Did you know that?
Absolutely.
I had no idea. No idea. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, why aren't they marketing this guy as like Ali's grandson? I don't understand. I don't get it. Blue Tag says Nico Ali is washed. like we're all sitting around, like we're all sitting around wondering, is he washed? I didn't know.
Well, here's the thing. He's not going around like Jake Paul saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
He's trying to do it the right way, man.
He's in there. He's fighting guys who are at a level that he can fight, and he's not claiming to be the best in the world. He's not saying he's going to be a world champion one day.
You got to respect him because he's not saying any of that. He's just boxing because he likes to box. He wants to box.
Doing what he likes to do. He enjoys it. Makes a little money on the side. I'm sure he could be doing other things, but this is just something that he wanted to do. So.
Rocky Austin, come on, man! Illegitimate grandson. How dare you? Oh, come on! That's not necessary. Come on, that's not necessary. I'm about having fun, but come on, too far.
That's too much.
Too far. That's way too much.
There's a level of defamation we won't go here.
Yeah, just stop it. Tony Yayo. Why does Tony Yayo always make me laugh, man? Get Ringside Robbie on to celebrate the Chinese trade deal.
Yeah, we're going to trade Robbie. We're going to get rid of him. We're going to get rid of him in a trade deal. Ship him over to China.
It's going to be funny tomorrow when there is no trade deal to announce because it was all nonsense.
With China?
Yeah, there's no way they hammered out a trade deal.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'll be done tomorrow. They'll probably.
Well, they said they announced it today. They had them. I guess the guys that are over there in Geneva or whatever announced it today that we got a trade deal. China radio silent on all of this, by the way. So they haven't said anything.
Yeah, I just think both sides will end up lowering their tariffs, and it'll work itself.
I think it'll work itself out too. On the zone, Anthony Kakache versus Lee Wood. Kakache wins by TKO over Wood in the 9th round. Beeb, you said Kakache looked excellent in this fight.
Yeah, he looked sharp. And here's the thing: Lee Wood, he'll be in these rounds and he'll get hit, he'll get hurt, and he tries to claw his way out. And we've seen him do that many times. Just when we think Lee Wood is out of there, he'll come back in a round. But Kakache would not let him claw his way back into these rounds. I think Lee Wood may have won 1 or 2 rounds here. Kakache was just too quick. He was sharp. And every now and then when Lee Wood would land a good shot, Kakache would walk through it. Kakache was just a sharper, quicker, and the heavier-handed guy. I think everything was in his favor in this fight. And while Lee Wood has so much heart, and he's such a technically skilled fighter in his own right, he was just outgunned here. And it showed. And I think Ben Davidson made a very good decision throwing in the towel, because you saw Lee Wood, like, he got hit so hard, he actually was running, just trying to get some space. He was trying to get his wits about him, and I never seen Lee Wood retreat like that. I just think that he was just so out of it that he was like, I got to get my legs back here. And when he did that, I just thought that was him saying that I'm just not okay here, right? I can't fight this guy off me. So I thought it was a great stoppage. I have no problem with the stoppage, and Kakache looked phenomenal. And again, it takes 2 to tango. Credit for Lee Wood for bringing it.
He's always must see TV. He always must see TV.
He brought it, but he just didn't have enough to deal with Kakache.
Where does he go from here? Where does Lee Wood go from here? Kakache the sky's limit for him.
Sky's limit for Kakache. Yeah. But the thing with Lee Wood is, because he's a big puncher, and he always has that rabbit in the hat, so to speak, where he could land that one shot to turn the fight around back.
He's an Andy Lee of that division. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's got that big shot.
So I'm not ready to get rid of him. And the old cliche that Robbie likes to use, he better find something else to do. I don't think Lee Wood needs to find something else to do. I think he still brings a lot to the table. He's an entertaining fighter. He's a good fighter. He's still world class. He was just
listen. He could sell out Nottingham all day. Exactly. I don't care who he fights. Put him in there against Khabib.
He was just in there. Yeah, he was just in there with a guy who was just better than him. That's all.
This guy was good, man. Kakache is a very good fighter.
It happens. Kakache's better than a lot of us thought.
Yeah, oh, for sure he is. Yeah, for sure. Pro Box TV had Erickson Luben versus Andrew Holmes Jr. Apparently, there was a lot of bad blood leading into this fight. I don't know because I didn't see any of the.
I saw some of the buildup.
Did you saw some of the buildup? I didn't see any of the buildup.
I guess they sparred before. They were kind of like friendly. They came up together in the amateurs, and once the fight got signed, for whatever, I just think the competitive nature of both men took over. And Luben, he could be abrasive at times. We've seen him when he's got a fight signed. He's very competitive, and he can sometimes be aggressive. He could be combative with his opponents leading up to the fight. So this was no different, and it ended up being a very one-sided fight. I thought Luben, before getting the stoppage in the 11th round, I thought he was in total control. He was way ahead. And this was like a fight on Pro Box. And on paper, you could argue maybe you would think it would have been more competitive, but it just wasn't. Wasn't. I mean, I thought Erickson Luben would win, but he dominated the fight. I thought
so too. Yeah, it wasn't one-sided running.
It wasn't close.
Listen, just a side note, if you guys like what we're doing, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Not asking for guys to work in a coal mine or anything like that. Just hit the button. Just hit the thumbs. Just hit the thumbs up.
All it takes is a little flick of the wrist.
Subscribe. What is it going to hurt? It doesn't hurt anything. Just help us out. Help us out, man. Me and Beeb are here every
Sunday, man.
Every Sunday, like clockwork. I mean, come on, guys, get it together over there. Did you? Speaking of Pro Box TV, and you saw everybody's seen by now Boxing Scene.
Mm-hmm.
They were taken over by Pro Box TV.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, I can't stand it.
Yeah, I don't like
the format. I don't like the look. I like the other look where it had the running news on there. You can quit fast. You got the news quick. Because I go to Fight News a lot, but Fight News doesn't have like a lot of the rumors and stuff like that like Boxing Scene had. They usually have they like focus on results and that kind of thing. But man, I don't know. I didn't really care for the whole the new look of it. I guess just wasn't the same. I don't know. But that was just me. Maybe everybody else likes it, and I'm the odd man out, which wouldn't be the first time that's happened. So there you go. ESPN. Fernando Daniel Martinez versus Kaz Ioka for Martinez's WBA junior bantamweight title. Martinez wins a unanimous decision over Ioka by the scores of 114-113, 115-112, 117-110. Beeb, this was in Japan. He got that unanimous decision.
That's right. And Japan. These guys can fight 10 times. And
it's going to be close. It's going to be close.
It's going to be not only close, but it's going to be a fun fight to watch.
Yeah.
These guys, every time they fight, they jump in the phone booth together, and they have the dust up, right?
Yeah.
I thought Martinez won 5 of the first 6 rounds, but there's resistance from Ioka. Like, you have to earn every second of every round versus this guy because he is on you like white on rice. He is in your chest. I just think early on, first half of the fight, I thought Martinez was just outworking him. He's outworking him. And both guys were ripping to the body. They were throwing short hooks on the inside, uppercuts. This was, like I said, a phone booth war. But Martinez was the guy who was landing more, right? He was landing more. Both guys had their moments. But I thought Martinez faded a little bit in the second half. And I thought Ioka won like 4 of the last 6, and they had that big knockdown in round 10. He landed a beautiful left hook against Martinez, and Martinez got up and he got his legs back pretty quickly. But I was surprised that he recovered as quickly as he did. But because he was, putting out so much volume in the first half of the fight, I thought he faded just a little bit. And again, both guys were landing a lot of body shots, so I'm sure those body shots weren't no cupcakes either for him.
Oh yeah,
but,
no.
Yeah. Some people argue that it was 5-1 Martinez the first half, and it was 5-1 Ioka. I thought it was more 4-2 for Ioka. But if you had Ioka winning this fight, edging it out, I don't have a problem with that. But I thought Martinez, just did just enough to eke this one out. And again, it's in Japan, and that's Aoki's home country. So if you're going to get a close decision in 2 fights back to back in Japan, then you
can't really argue that, right?
You can't really argue that.
I mean, yeah, right. That's what got me. It was like that. It was in Japan. I think to me that was the most surprising thing. You know. All right, let's go to Robert here. Let's bring him on. Robert, you're live.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Hey,
what's up, Bobby?
Bobby, what's the matter?
Not much. And by the way, Joe, thank you for trying to trade me to China. I don't want to go there.
I'm sorry, man. You're part of the deal. They're going to give us TikTok. We're giving them Ringside Robbie. That's part of the deal. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, we're taking TikTok over Robbie.
Taking TikTok.
100%. 100%. Too many people use it.
Now, I believe that TikTok should be American owned. I totally agree with that.
Why?
But I'm not part of that deal. I have no way. I don't want to live in a communist country. Thank you.
China's not communist, are they?
I mean, they have a communist government per se, but they do have capitalism when it comes to the economy. So it's just not, there's no really true communist country anymore. There's a lot of mixed government, mixed economies now. It's not like
I was gonna say because they have some capitalism over there. I mean, they have people.
Yeah, but the government, like the government and the actual economy are a little bit different. But for the most, like the thing is with President Xi, there's no term limit. He can be president until he dies. So,
he's like a judge over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
he's like
it's
the
not
Supreme Court.
It's not like even people talk a lot of trash about Russia, but like Vladimir Putin could at least be voted out. I mean,
right? Well, yeah.
They accuse him of fixing the elections, but he can still be voted out technically.
Right? Technically, he could still be voted out, but
be voted out. It's like Robbie's been voted out several times. But go ahead, Robbie.
What do you think CCP stands for?
Thank you for the arrows today, Beam. I appreciate it.
What do you want? A little sympathy, Lester? Huh? You want a little sympathy, Lester? Please. No. I come on here every week, and I get lambasted by the chat. Eric throws his shots at me, and I don't. You don't hear me reaching for the tissues, crying to Lois. Oh, they're picking on me. I said, "Oh, come on here, looking for sympathy." You need to man out. Let those balls hang.
Knock it off.
Let those balls hang.
Knock it off.
What's the matter with you?
Knock it off. Anyway, I believe that was a terrible stoppage last night. I think that fight could have continued. To be honest with you, they didn't give Navarrete's corner enough time to work on the cut. He got cut into what was.
His eye was hanging. What's the matter with you?
His eye was hanging off. What do you want?
It was his eye.
Let me slice you on the eyelid and see how long you last. You'd probably be crying and running to the hospital in a second.
Since I got bad eyes anyway, it wouldn't hurt.
Here we go again with the sympathy. I'm not falling for it. No. The sympathy. We're not falling for it.
No sympathy around here.
You're not going to get it over here. We all have our problems. Anyway, I wake up every day. I feel like I'm friggin'. I have arthritis in every joint, man. I'm reaching for the IV for the acetaminophen when I get up first thing in the morning. And I got to listen to you complain and cry. Please.
Hey, I take plenty of medicine too. Thank you very much. But seriously, I thought they should have given the corner more rounds to work on the cut.
That cut was horrible, Robbie. Come on.
Why?
Please.
Why would they give him more rounds?
Yes, it was.
That cut was so deep, Robbie. The blood was going right in his eye, and they weren't able to stop the blood. They had about 3 rounds to work on the cut, Robbie, and it wasn't getting better.
Oh, okay, all right.
Omar Rodriguez brought up a very interesting point. He said Rocky Balboa fought through the cut on the eyelid. Navarrete should be able to do it too.
Okay, but this isn't a Hollywood movie. This is not a script.
I can't hate it. Rocky did the same thing. In fact, he cut the eye to reduce the swelling.
Cut me, Mick. Cut me, Mick.
Call me.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. But as far as Navarrete goes, he had difficulty making weight. Don't you think it's time for him to move up to 135?
Probably. I mean, he was up there before. Right?
Yeah. I mean, he almost lost the title on the scale because I guess he had to weigh in 2 or 3 different times to make sure that he made weight. That's a sign that somebody needs to move up. And with Anthony Kakache and Lee Wood, I don't want Lee Wood to go anywhere. He's must see TV, and that was a good fight to watch yesterday.
Well, time. You're usually ready to throw guys in the trash bin after they lose, but I'm glad you changed your ways a little bit.
No. He's a good guy. We're not going to
treated Golovkin after a couple dodgy decisions, man. That was horrible.
Put the poor mouth on Golovkin. I'll tell you that.
I heard you were voting against him even being in the Hall of Fame just because he had a couple tough fights.
It's cold-blooded.
It's disgusting, man.
The one I want to be terrible to now is Devin Haney. Jesus Christ, that was awful.
Well, I don't even want to talk about Devin Haney, man. He didn't fight this weekend. I'm trying to.
He didn't fight last weekend either.
He didn't fight last weekend either. Whatever you want to call what he did last weekend.
I don't know what he did last weekend. He went to a track meet last weekend. He wasn't fighting.
Played a game of tag.
That was awful.
I mean, at least say what you want about Ryan Garcia and he got beat or whatever. At least he was fighting.
Yeah, he was trying.
He didn't go out there and lay an egg like Devin Haney. I mean, my gosh.
True. That's true, Eric.
I love the fact that Haney got up on the apron and was asking him what happened after the fight and like clowning him and stuff. Like, dude, you have no room to talk.
You know what Shane Mosley said?
Awful.
Shane Mosley was doing an interview and he said that I worked with Devin Haney in the camp and we did not work on fighting like that. And even though he won, he really lost. Like even Shane Mosley said, just because you got the decision, that didn't mean you really won. Obviously, technically, you won in the record book, but that's a loss in the eyes of the public. People don't want to see you again.
Nobody's going to want to see you. I mean, because would you pay a dime to go watch that guy fight?
You would have to pay me to sit through a Devin Haney fight. Now,
not to mention
compensated sitting through a Devin Haney fight.
Right, and you know what? And that's the thing is that he's not going to main event anywhere. Nobody's going to want to watch that fight.
No.
No, but that's the one that if I'm going to pick on any fighter now, it's going to be him because let's face it, his record says he's undefeated, but he's lost 2 in a row, guys.
Let me tell you what, Garcia fight, he's never going to be the same after that. He'll never be the same.
Absolutely not.
And I told you that when that fight happened, he was never going to be the same after that, didn't I?
Right.
And he came out here, he looked, I mean, physically, he looked great. You'd see him on a scale and everything. He looked ready to go when he went in there, and he did not want to mix it up because he knew what was coming back, and he knew he didn't want to get hit.
That was the guy to me that looked a little bit shell-shocked.
Let me tell you what, and here's how I know, and I'm going to tell you this too. How you know that he was never going to be the same is because he sued Garcia for battery.
You don't sue
battery, son. He sued him for battery. That ain't this is your sport. This is what do you do when you get beat? You put the gloves back on and you go back out there and get back. This doesn't happen. You don't sue the other guy because you got beat up.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he allowed that. Because there's going to be talk about it, and every quarter, we ought to sue that guy because of what he did. He put you in danger. Squash all that. That's what you do. You squash all of it and you get back in the ring and you fight him again.
That's right, Eric.
But he didn't. He didn't do that. He took that way out.
I can't argue with that. Nope.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that.
He'll never be the same. He will never be the same. And Rocky Austin just said PTSD. Listen, he did. He fought like a coward. It's a real thing. And I tell you what, when he was in there, you could see it. You could see the gears moving. You could see the gears moving.
Whenever you see a guy
mix it up.
Whenever you see a guy in there like wide-eyed like that, there's something. Again, I'm not in there taking the punches, but we have to compare these guys to their peers.
And listen, I'll take Virgil Hunter's stance. I'll take Virgil Hunter's stance here, where is if you have a son, would you rather him fight like Devin Haney or fight like Arturo Gatti? Devin Haney all day, because I don't want to see my son get beat up in there. Nobody wants to see their child.
But if you want to do this for a living, Eric, if you want to do it for a living, there's got to be a happy medium.
Different animal. That's right.
Medium, right?
Listen, Pernell Whitaker didn't get hit, and he was exciting. He was an entertaining fighter.
I thought Pernell Whitaker was really exciting to watch because he made you pay when you missed. He made you pay when you missed.
Floyd Mayweather the same way.
Yeah.
You
can say what they want about Floyd Mayweather. He walked down Canelo Alvarez in that fight. He took it to him.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Robert,
Robbie, what else you got, man? Wake up here. What's going on?
No. I can't argue with any of that. Well, I know what I want to talk about, but you guys haven't brought it up yet, so I don't want to go ahead of the show.
Go ahead, talk.
What is it? I'll tell you if you can bring it up or not.
You can bring it up.
Manny Pacquiao.
All right, let me just wait because we'll do that in news. I'll bring you back on for that.
Well, you can come back on for that. Sir.
Okay.
I got a question for you. Did you see the Ioka fight?
No, I did not.
You didn't even watch it. You didn't even watch it,
man.
Unbelievable.
You have a few simple assignments. You have a few simple assignments when you come on here.
Watch the fights. That's all you do. You couldn't even do that.
Hey,
how about those calves?
I send you the
fights. How about those calves?
I send you the fights every weekend. I give you the schedule every weekend.
Yes, no questions. And
before you go back in the queue, can I ask you a quick question, Robbie? I'm changing my pick. I'm picking Crawford versus Canelo. Have you changed your pick, or are you going to still stick with Canelo? What is your pick?
Before Canelo fought last weekend, I was going to pick Canelo all day. After last weekend, Terrence Crawford is going to win that fight, hands down.
Okay. That's a good analysis.
Because I think there's some serious erosion there. In Canelo's prime, let's say 28, 29 years old, I think he would have knocked out a guy like Skull. Last week, he just allowed Skull to basically run around and collect the paycheck. And a lot of people can blame Skull because it takes two to tango. But like you said earlier, when you're rated as one of the pound for pound guys, you have a responsibility to show them why you're on that list.
There you go.
And he did not do that. And I think there's even
so. Is it safe to say that both of you guys jumped on my bandwagon?
Yeah, I told you I'm jumping on the bandwagon with you. I conceded the point early, like 10 minutes ago. I told you that.
I want Robbie to now concede the point.
He won't concede. He never does. Are you jumping on the bandwagon with Eric, Robbie, or no? Watch, you'll say no.
No.
He says no. He can never believe this guy.
All right, we'll bring you back on. Yeah, we'll bring you back on.
He's
that's cold-blooded. That was messed up.
Never makes a concession.
Messed up. Virtuoso in regards to the Haney Garcia thing, that was like he said, that's like a porn star suing for rape. So there you go. And I say it, I don't say grape. I'm not on TikTok right now. I do what I want to do. As long as it's in my contract. All right, 951. Where's 951?
That's California.
It's California? 951, you're live. Find out.
Hey guys, this Aggie in Lake Elsinore.
Hey, what's happening, man?
What's happening, man?
Hey, I just wanted to say that Canelo didn't know how to cut off the ring. I know a guy by the name of Antonio Margarito who was not a boxer, but he would have cut off the ring. He was slow plotting. He had the slowest speed ever, but he could have cut off the ring. This guy did not do anything to cut off the ring. He was sorry as hell. I think I blame him. He's the champ. He's supposed to be the one with the skills to pay the bills.
There you go.
What's the deal?
I agree with you, sir.
Yeah, he followed that guy around all night.
Yeah, he was plotting
like he didn't want to engage. You know what I mean? It was like he didn't even want to engage.
Yeah, he said, "Why am I going to chase this guy around the ring? I'm just going to go through the motions and whatever."
It looked like a sparring session. It honestly did.
Sparring session.
Yeah.
But at some point, you're getting paid millions.
Yeah.
People are watching you on TV. People are paying money. This is prize fighting. It's fuck, man, I'd rather watch my two little nephews. My uncle used to give them a little chocolate and see who fucking, who gets the chocolate. At least they would throw down. These fools, man, come on. Come on. I mean, I get it. Skull had one. He's never going to be on TV again. He lost his whole career.
For sure.
Canelo could not cut off the ring.
No, you're right. And we've seen him cut off the ring before, and that's why I said it wasn't just Skull. He was going through the motions that night.
Yeah, I use this analogy. I use this analogy. When I was on the show with Maestro over the weekend. It's like a cop who's 6 months away from retirement, right? Yeah. He's waiting on his big pension. Someone snatches a purse. He ain't chasing that guy the 6 blocks. He's letting his younger partner, hey, why don't you go run after that person? You get him. I'm not, I'm 6 months. I'm going to be on a beach in Hawaii somewhere. I don't care anymore. Canelo may be in that place. He just may be in that place right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got 1 foot out.
He's got one foot out, in my opinion.
He's got a four fight deal with Turkey, right?
I think it's a 5-fight deal. They're saying for $400 million.
Yeah, something ridiculous,
that's
right?
What's being reported. They're saying he got 80. They're saying he got $80 million for this fight.
The fact that they gave him $80 million.
I don't know how true it is.
They're not even worried about making a profit. You know what I mean? They're not. He just wants to see these fights. But why he put Skull on there, I'll never know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know.
You know what? At some point, you tell him like, what was it, Rocky 1, where he's like, or Rocky 2, go fucking run, chase that chicken at some point. Fucking do something. Don't try to do a sprint, motherfucker.
Anything. He should have been able to cut that ring off. Yeah.
He just said to himself,
you're getting paid $80 million?
80. They want to see some action, and they didn't see it there.
Saying. And then you got a guy who tells you.
What a lame.
Yeah, you got a guy who's been saying the last 3 years, I could do whatever I want. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people want. Imagine going into work. Imagine going into work and being able to say, I could do whatever I want. I don't care what people think. You think you'd show up on time every morning if you had that ability to do that and you weren't going to get fired? Again, it's the nature of the beast. Money changes people. It's just the nature of the beast. Money changes people. Not everybody, but it changes people. I'm sorry. It changes people.
I agree.
Yeah, but at some point, okay, he was making $40 million. He's making $80 million. Come on. But at that point, you gotta do something. Yeah. I mean, he's just like, I don't like fighting those kind of guys. Even Chivato, he fucked up. He didn't do shit. He sucked. My uncle came from Mexico. I'm like, we're all excited to watch him, and then he's like, he fell asleep halfway through the fight.
So here's the $1 million question. Here's the $1 million question I'm going to ask you. Who wins, Crawford or Canelo?
You know what? I think Crawford is going to do. Probably Crawford.
Okay. Wow!
I didn't like what I saw with Crawford in his last fight.
They may throw you out of the bar, man.
I didn't like what I saw with Crawford.
You may not be able to hang out with your drinking buddies anymore after this one, man.
That's right, man.
So you want to? You're putting this on record now. You're putting this on record.
Yeah. I think I didn't like what I saw from Crawford, and going up in weight. I think Crawford would get destroyed by what's that champ from Kazakhstan in middleweight?
Oh, the Bakram guy there, or the Janabek guy. Yeah,
that Janabek. I think Janabek destroys Crawford.
Wow. Okay.
And going up one more weight class, I think it's too much. But fuck, man, you could run around circles around Canelo. Fucking nowadays, I mean. I'm 300 pounds. I'd run circles around that fucking day, man.
His legs are gone.
Shit. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't do shit.
Yep.
His legs are destroyed. I mean, he couldn't cut it. There's I've seen him. He's always been this way, but he's slower than he was. He's plodding. He couldn't get any momentum. He couldn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. That other dude's super athletic and he was like jumping around like weirdo style. That's really difficult to engage with someone who's not trying to engage. But he didn't try to. It didn't seem like at first I thought, man, he's just waiting him out. Then it seemed like he just couldn't. He couldn't move forward the way when older guys can't pull that trigger anymore. They see it happening, but they can't pull the trigger. He couldn't pull the trigger with his feet. Gotcha. And Crawford's gonna he's too athletic for him at this point, and all he has to do is avoid that body shot, which he probably will. He'll just go around. It'll be a hard fight the whole time. It'll be tense, but Canelo doesn't have the legs anymore. Yeah, I'm solid. I'm picking Crawford by decision. He won't knock out Canelo. Bivol didn't knock him out, so Crawford's not going to do it.
No, I don't think so either. All right, man. Yeah. Thank you so much, man. Thank you very much.
Man. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great one.
Call. You too, man.
Good call, man.
There we go. Boxing Magic from Mexside says Skull was 6 foot tall, 200-pounder, undefeated, shredded fighters, and made him run. It was too easy. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. You've seen Skull fight. Skull fights the same way.
Skull is
Skull is Skull. It's not like he came in there and just decided to do that.
You're not gonna. You couldn't expect Skull to turn into a Toro Gotti overnight. It wasn't gonna happen.
No.
So if you go back and watch Skull fight, that's how he fights.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's go to the boxing schedule here. Let's see here. May 17th. That's the only fight next week. That's it. And this is going to be on UFC Fight Pass. Wow. Mizuki Haruta versus Carla Eileen Marino. 2 chicks fighting. That's it. And then Sergey Boracek is on the co-main versus the dreaded TBA.
Yeah, Boracek is good. Boracek's a good fighter, man.
He's a good fighter, but I think I'm going to pass. I'm not watching 2 chicks fight. I don't know. What's the matter with you? He said Skull schools Crawford.
Stop God.
Stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
You school him in a game of Scrabble?
Yeah, right.
He ain't gonna beat him in a boxing ring.
And you know what? He very well may. He very well may. But the problem is, boxing math never works. So it is what it is, man. Never works. All right, where's let's see. Let me bring Robert back in here. All right. So we're talking about news and rumors here. Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios is being set for July. Pacquiao is 46, Beeb. Tell me how he comes out of retirement and gets a title shot. Like he officially fought in August of 21. He fought Ugas, Yordenis Ugas.
Yes.
Lost, unanimous. How does a guy that's 46 and hasn't fought in 4 years just come in and get a title shot?
He's champion emeritus. You got to.
How is that possible?
Show him
champion emeritus. How dare you?
Just like Robbie's the host emeritus. He can come on every now and then. He could just walk in after getting fired. That's all I mean.
Now I want to shout this comment out here. Omar Rodriguez. He said, "Think about it, Eric. The chicks will be covered in baby oil." Now, if that's the case, I'll tune in. I will tune in because I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to baby oil. You know,
please.
Beep, how does this happen? I mean, realistically, how does this happen?
I mean, when you have that legendary status, then you get to come back and do whatever you want.
Listen, we all saw it.
I know.
We all saw him fight that kickboxer guy.
Now they're making an excuse that he didn't train for it, he didn't prepare. Well,
you think?
So I mean,
well, so what? You're going to go back to the gym and improve on what?
Like, what are you going to do? You're gonna turn back the clock? I don't know.
It's bad.
And the sad part about it is
I don't think he's going to get knocked out though. I'm not even 100% sure he gets knocked out.
No, but the sad part about it is though, Eric, somebody is going to sanction this.
It's going to happen, right? They're going to sanction it.
Too much money.
And they're going to put it on pay-per-view.
Too much money.
And they've always wanted Barrios to become a star. I know they've always wanted him to become a star because he's a likable guy, nice guy, everything like that. The problem is he's just not a star. He's just not. He doesn't have. He's a great fighter. He's a really good fighter. He really is. And top level, top shelf fighter, contender, champion, whatever you want to call him, is top shelf fighter. He just doesn't have it. He gets nervous in the big fights. He
doesn't
never
have that it factor. He doesn't have that it factor.
When he's under the lights, he gets nervous. And you see it in his fights. He's just not the same in the lights as he is in the gym.
Yeah.
And it happens to certain fighters.
Sure.
Robert, give me your thoughts.
Okay, first of all, I'll start with Barrios first, and then I'll go to Pacquiao. With Barrios, every time he gets under the lights, I'll give you a perfect example. He was the co-main on the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson undercard. He was on that card.
Yeah.
And he thought he had a title defense, and he looked like he didn't even belong there. He managed to get the decision. But, when you're on that kind of a show and you have millions and millions of people watching you, you need to show them why they need to see you. And Mario Barrios, he's a good fighter. He deserved his title. He won it fair and square. But he's never been able to live up to what people have thought of him. And I think people that run the PBC go out of their way to do their best to find him soft touches. And they probably view Manny Pacquiao as a soft touch at this point.
I view him as a soft touch at this point.
Yeah.
But the scary part is, since Barrios does this, whenever he's under bright lights, there is a distinct possibility that Manny could walk in there and win that title.
You think Barrios will become starstruck?
Did you watch that kickboxer in Pacquiao? I don't even know who that guy was. Did you see that fight?
No, my point, Eric, is Manny Pacquiao should not even be fighting. He's going to go into the Boxing Hall of Fame next month in June. And then on July 19th, he's going to go back in the ring and fight
ridiculous
Barrios.
Too, yeah.
The whole thing is just, it stinks. And PBC is making another stupid mistake. July 19th is the same day that Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois are going to fight. And you know darn good and well that'll be a pay-per-view. Now, people are going to pay more for that than they're going to pay to watch that fight because it's actually going to be a fight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And people that are in nostalgia are going to pay for Pacquiao. I know one thing. 2 pay-per-views on the same day. I know which pay-per-view I'm buying, and it ain't Barrios and Pacquiao.
You'll buy it.
No way.
You'll buy it. You'll buy it. No, you're gonna buy it.
You'll call me up and you'll ask me, can you log in and buy it for me? I know you will.
Don't tell anybody, Beef. Don't tell anybody. Buy it for me.
Yeah.
All right, Robert, let me put you back in the queue.
I look at all the receipts. I know what you're buying.
What's the matter with you? You look at all the receipts from Beef Industry
Credit Card. I help him out with a lot of things. I do a lot of finance work for him. Being honest, I'm not trying to put the business out there. I won't go over the numbers.
You won't go over the numbers.
I don't want to dox the finance.
Top Rank. Going to new networks here, babe.
Yes.
This is from Boxing Scene. Aram is confident that Top Rank's fights will be broadcast on both free-to-air and streaming services, but played down the prospect of Top Rank working hand-in-hand with PBC, whose promotions have been featuring on Amazon. Top Rank are among the decreasing number of influential promoters not to be committed with DAZN. Now, Beeb, let me ask you a question. Why not DAZN?
So even with PBC having their deal with Amazon Prime, you still see some PBC fighters fight on DAZN periodically, So I think DAZN is not going to be totally out of the picture. I just don't think DAZN will have exclusivity like Golden Boy, like Queensberry, like Matchroom does. I don't think that they'll have the same situation. And Aram's always been open to being able to do business with multiple platforms. That's multiple promoters, multiple platforms. He's never been the guy to throw all his eggs in one basket, and I think that he's just following suit here with this move, in my opinion. So.
From Bob Aram, quote, within the next few weeks, Aram told Boxing Scene when asked when he expects their new agreements to be secured, it's a little complicated because when we were with ESPN, it was one outlet. Now there'll be 3 outlets with Top Rank Boxing. More dates than we have now, both streaming and free to air. And our contract with ESPN is over in July, at the end of July. Asked about a potential model with the PBC, he responded, no, but we've always been open to collaborate with the PBC. It's having their fighters fight our fighters. It's as simple as that. There you go. There you go. Let me ask you this, Beeb. Okay, so Drunk Irishman just posted this in the chat. He said, I got Barrios winning. Yeah, there's a stretch. But if somehow Pacquiao wins, that would be insane. 30 years as a pro boxer and still winning belts.
Yeah, it's insane.
If Pacquiao wins, if he wins, is he the greatest fighter ever?
No.
Is he the GOAT?
No.
Wow, you just totally dismissed it. You didn't even think about that. You didn't even think about you didn't even think about it.
He's always going to be in the conversation.
Why would that? I mean, that's unprecedented, Beeb. Nobody would have been able to do that before. I mean, in the Hall of Famer, and then winning a title the next month.
I'm sure some people will make the argument, Eric. I'm not totally dismissing it. I'm just giving.
It sounds like you are.
My opinion.
Because I asked you, and you sounds like you just completely dismissed the argument by not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did, right? That's cold-blooded. That's messed up.
Sorry, I struck a nerve with that one, but it's just my opinion.
I think it would be. It would be on the. I think it would be up there with what George Foreman was able to accomplish.
Yeah.
By coming back, because everybody knows Pacquiao's shot. This ain't gonna happen. Pacquiao's a shot fighter. It wouldn't surprise me if he got injured in training.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shot.
They may pull out of it. I don't know. One thing I wanna remind.
And who's gonna train him? I mean, like, who's gonna train him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Boy?
I don't think Freddie Roach is gonna train him.
I don't think he is either.
One thing we did forget to mention, and shout out to Robbie because he brought this to my attention: David Allen versus Johnny. David Allen versus Johnny Fisher. That rematch is happening next week on DAZN. That was a good first fight where most people thought that Johnny Fisher lost that fight, and they thought David Allen won. So that rematch, and Josh Taylor is going to be fighting on that undercard too. So
Josh Taylor back in action, huh?
Yeah. So just want to
listen on ESPN. That's weird.
Yeah. So
what are you going to do? But yeah, I'd like to see. I'm interested to see how it's because it's going to. I imagine it's going to be the Taylor's going to be a comeback fight.
Yeah,
like a get back fight.
Yeah, And that David Allen Johnny Fisher fight was really a exciting fight the first time. They had some controversy, so it's good to see them come back. So I just thought that was worth mentioning.
Omar says that Foreman and Hopkins both won belts at 40-something, and they're not considered the best in their division. Different animal. Bernard Hopkins never stepped away. Foreman stepped away for 10 years.
Yeah.
That to me, that's what was so impressive about George. And it's impressive with Bernard too, that he had that longevity, no question.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Foreman's in a lot of people's top 5. He's in my top 5.
What he did was unprecedented.
Yeah.
That will never be again. King KO, how dare you? Whatever. Has Inoue been exposed? Clickbait title. How dare you?
I told him.
Gosh.
I already warned him about it.
He's talking about you, Beeb. Beeb came up.
I warned him about the backlash.
Beeb contacted me last night and said Inoue's been exposed.
Never.
That's what he said. That's what he said. So I put that out there. Beeb gives me the titles. I just put them out. That's all I do.
Business in Japan. There's no way I would risk that.
You have business in Japan?
I do a lot of business in Japan. There's no way I would risk that.
What's the matter with you? The triads are after you now.
Sorry.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. You can find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporter.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And you can always find me on X at ringside73. And guys, we will see you next week.